Hello everyone on Speed Gaming 4th channel. We're gonna have a lot of action today, and please join me in welcoming the beautiful voice of Lady Deme.
Hey Seth. Hey everyone. I am pretty excited to see this match. I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm so excited too, because definitely this is, to me, the match of the week. There's definitely a lot of match that's interesting, but don't get me wrong. Reven has been proving himself really well with A, lot of practice, and B, knocking down some very tough opponents. Poulet doesn't even need an introduction now. He's been crushing in every tournament he's been in. This is the match of the week.
I think so. Have we covered what the rules for this tournament are yet?
Oh, not yet. No. Do you want to go on over them?
All right. So, we have a PlayStation 1 roguelike, Azure Dreams here. It has a monster tower with 40 randomly generated floors. They will have 1 hour per round to climb as far as they can, as fast as they can. Whoever gets to the highest floor first taking the point. In addition, the starting equipment and starting monster will be randomized. And the starting monster is specially so, with a randomized element and its spell unlocked, even if it doesn't normally have its spell unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important to have the spell unlocked because most of the monsters are actually kind of really weak. The spells you get, and so your ability to use mixed magic, which is your monster, instead of casting its spells normally, casts it on your weapon, and then it enchants your blade into something different. Most mixed magic are either very strong or very interesting. Some of them cost a lot of MP, though, so that MP conservation might be complicated, but I don't think there's ever one mixed magic that's useless, except maybe when it costs just a little bit too much. So it's a very important tool to have, but most importantly also, like Demi said, there's going to be a random toolkit, new items replacing those that you usually have on floor 1. So you're going to get a random weapon replacing the copper sword you usually have. Same for a random shield replacing the wood shield, random spell ball, random egg. So if they don't like what monster is going to be replacing, you need your normal starting monster. You can at least look at the egg, which I think every runner does now. At least check what you have, right?
Right. Hey, earlier in the tournament, it was a little bit more of a question of what is the better meta, but the possibility of a Garuda was proven early and powerful. There are a couple of monsters that just change the way the game is played. Poulet getting a little bit of a false start now that we're off.
Yeah, he goes back inside to tell his mom he loves her. Very important thing to do. If you go into an adventure where you might die, please tell your mom you love her before. But yeah, not super good for speedrun, though.
Not super great. Familial affection has no place in this race.
Save the frame, kill family interactions. Is that how it works?
That is, I feel like, probably the phrase of choice of speedrunners everywhere. Oh, we've got a bloom, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a wind element, and that's your favorite.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really love my blooms. Yeah, there we go. He renamed it SK. I really love that he renamed it SK, but I'm kind of sad it was not renamed Orlando, but I mean, that works. So why do I love a bloom? That's wind. I don't exactly care about the bloom, but I do love its magic, which is called D-Wall. D-Wall is not a great spell, to be honest, but the wind version of it, D-O-Wall, once mixed into your weapon, not only costs only half an MP, which is not a lot, but also has a 100% chance to paralyze. That's a very weak spell, but I mean, 100% chance to paralyze, I don't need to explain how powerful that is. And even though Reven starts in a, not a super fun room, he's not scared of anything because, paralysis.
Right. 2 monsters attacking you? Well, now 1 is attacking you, and you can just beat up the other at your leisure.
Yeah, and the next round, no monsters attacking you, right? So...
Right. It is a very convenient spell to have. I'm surprised. This was, in general, a really generous start. Sandite seeds are notoriously cruel, so I'm waiting for the knife to get stabbed in.
Oh, for sure. It's better so it can get worse. But there's a lot of weakness in the deal wall or the 100% paralysis as well. Even though I'm a big fan, I'm not oblivious to the weaknesses behind it. It can get a little bit slow if you use a turn just to paralyze your opponent before whacking at it. It makes every encounter a little bit just longer. Also, it's been proven 1,000 times that even though it's not safe at all, not fighting is much faster than, fighting, obviously. And it's 100% chance to paralyze. It's true if you hit. And so you can still miss your attack as long as the attack connects. It's gonna paralyze. But I mean, and swords do have a little bit lower accuracy than wands, so they might miss once in a while. Now, early on, it doesn't care. Enemies fighting you it won't deal enough damage for it to be a problem. But when enemy starts hitting you for 80 when you have 70 health, you cannot miss that shot, and that's definitely going to become really important later on.
Yep. Azure Dreams generally feels like a game where, well, I think it is you who often says this, Ko is the weakest monster in the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a Shawnee special, I think, this sentence, but I mean, we've all
said it, and we've all felt it. There comes a point at which clever tricks might save you, but blunt tricks probably won't.
Yeah, for sure. X3 points out in chat, and that actually the conclusion I've come to this week when I did some practices. Nowadays, if I do want to play deal wall, because obviously a weapon won't be good, deal wall doesn't deal a lot of damage. I actually unequip my weapon because the most accurate weapon in the game is hitting with your fists, and you can still paralyze 100% of the time. So removing your weapon is definitely the way to go if you intend to go late game deal wall. That'll bring you to 99% chance to hit, roughly. Depends on enemy's luck as well. But that should be very close to 99% chance to hit.
That is a good bit of strategy that we'll have to see if our runners are aware of, think of, or deploy, presuming they even get that far. Since at the beginning, it's probably not that big a deal, and not worth the extra time it takes. But later is later.
Oh yeah.
And Azure Dreams, there's a lot of mistakes you can make, hoping for later to come.
Absolutely. So the gameplay loop we see right now is both players are gonna explore. Probably, I think that's a staple now for every runner. They're gonna explore floor 1 to 5. Reasoning behind that is that those 4 floors are actually really easy. Not a lot of chance to die. It can happen. Obviously, balloons are kind of scary. Manivas can be scary as well. And cyclones, if there's too many in a row, can definitely pack a punch. But generally, you should be able to take a few hits before being in a troubled situation. So they're going to explore that and try to build an inventory.
That could have been, that bomb trap could have been worse, though. And that is, I think, the downside of the wind elemental bloom is all damage-dealing traps are fire elemental, and that's a lot of extra damage. Wind is kind of the worst element defensively.
Oh yeah, by a mile. It's not even close. And not only all the traps that deals damage.
One shield.
There's one neutral trap, actually. The one that makes something fall over your head is neutral. But the bomb traps are fire, and every damaging spell are also fire. With the exception of low graves, which will only be seen if your starting monster is a cyclone or a zoo. So you won't see that too often. So obviously, by a mile, the wind elemental being weak to fire is gonna have a much harder time surviving the tower.
Right, and there are a couple of floors there that we're going to eventually be seeing on the end of this first 10 floors, where everything is fire, and that's going to be scary.
That's one of the other reasons why you put your monsters behind you as well. You should take the brunt of the traps. Well, you should take every trap. Obviously, it might happen that you don't, but I mean, 99% of the traps should be on Co, so that's fine. But bomb traps do it in AoE, so your pet will still receive some of the damage. And the
Just
other
not
one,
as much.
for sure, exactly. And the spells, well, you should be at the forefront of every encounter as well, so you should take the hits from every ranged spell, but obviously once in a while to try to run away, the monster will be behind you, and then you're going to get sniped by a griffin, and I can tell you now, no Bloom is surviving a rise from afar. That's not going to happen.
That is certainly a thing to be aware of and very careful about. While I know a lot of runners will, because normally you're playing with a fire monster, oh, that's not good. Poulet has sort of wandered a little off course without his Bloom. Luckily, it turned out all right, but that's a lot of MP that kind of just got wasted.
Yeah, but early on, the lucky thing is that Bloom is weakest stats is its attack. It's not very powerful, but early on, enemies are so squishy that it doesn't matter much. And even though its defense is mostly middle ground, its HP is kind of really high, so it should be able to square off against at least one enemy, you know? But later on, obviously, you won't never see a Bloom being able to fight against anything. It doesn't have the damage output to fend off anything.
Yep. One thing that we're going to note as Reven comes up onto the water floors is that that they're a little less water than normal. Other blooms will also have their element changed.
Yes, absolutely. One of the nice things is D-Wall will never be used. So even though all blooms have their spell awoken, because when your monster gets a spell awoken through the randomizer, it awakens the spells of every monster of the same species. Like Deme said, it's also true for their element. But D-Wall is a buff that you cast on an ally, so you're never going to see blooms cast it, so at least there's that. But yeah, all blooms being wind should change a little bit the game, but honestly, not that much. They don't have to be scared about any blooms, I think.
Yeah, let's hope so. What I was saying earlier, and I think is an interesting choice here, and it's probably because U-boats are scary and unpleasant, is that while runners normally take these 6 through 8 or so floors, 6 through 9, and hurry through them, I think here, actually, it might be better for them to explore these more fully and skip the floors they normally explore of like 9 through 11. Because again, wind bloom.
Yeah, you're 100% right, but there's 2 little things that I know is going to happen here is, one, even though you're right, the monster's experience on floor 6 to 9 is really low. So even when you actually have the advantage, or the ability to survive these floors, the fact that U-boats, even though you would have the right element against them, are still scary, and the fact they're worth so little XP for the damage they deal is, even if I can farm those floors, I generally wouldn't. And the other thing is, these 2 runners are crazy. We need to talk about that later, but I don't think they're gonna farm here, and I don't think they're gonna farm on 10 to 12 either. I think they're just gonna book it as soon as they get there. Like, maybe they'll try to reach level 8 or so, but then I think they're gone.
That makes sense, and I think it is certainly true. I think it's hard to say that there are really bad choices in Azure Dreams.
There's only bad choices in Azure Dreams.
that is also a little bit true. So much as there are choices, lots and lots of choices from the big to the small. It is sometimes described, some of us like to think of it as a little bit of a puzzle game, but I've always questioned that because that assumes A, that there is a right answer, and B, that there is one right answer, as opposed to having a toolkit. That is sort of why it's called the Random Toolkit Tournament.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy because what I really like about Azure Dreams is sometimes you're going to be in a room and it's going to be a bad room and you're going to have a holy bell and you're like, Can I actually get out of this room without using my resources? You don't need to think about that situation, right? You have a holy bell, just use it and get out of here. But sometimes 27 floors later, you're gonna need a holy bell, and that decision you made, 20 minutes ago, is actually gonna either come back and bite you in the behind, or actually be your salvation. And that's
And
what
you have no idea which it will be.
Exactly.
Of course, I think it's also worth noting that either of those depend on the accuracy of your assessment of whether or not you can get out of this room without using a holy bell.
Yes, that's a better thing for sure.
I think every runner has had a moment of, okay, but if I can just get out of this without burning a resource, and then they die with the resource in their pocket.
Oh, absolutely. I think that practicing this game is the two things you're gonna work towards, is both becoming faster at inputting and dashing between rooms and stuff like that, even though that's scary and dangerous and not a good idea. And the second thing I think is gonna be able to assess situation and see when to use a resource and when to keep it, because like you said, Deme, you might think you're clever up until you actually die with a full inventory, and then who cares about how clever you thought you were? If you die on floor 12, I mean, I assume everybody in this tournament is going to be able to just win that by playing slowly. They don't need to, be super conservative to clear floor 12 generally. So you kind of need to know when to use your stuff and when to actually try and be clever.
Right. Now, to ask a question, which is, who's going to die from being greedy? And my guess is that I don't think it's very likely for really either of them. I think maybe it might come down to who might die from being a little bit reckless. Reckless. I think both of these runners are runners who are going to go fast. I mean, look at the time Reven has made of about, like, a floor a minute, just a little under that.
For sure. There is a different playstyle in older and newer runners, though, and you're going to see that in action, I'm 99% sure. Keep an eye on it. You're going to see what I'm talking about. But I feel that from my experience is that newer runner have a rhythm. They're gonna play at a certain speed. They're gonna assess each floor as a singular entity, whereas older runners, maybe from experience, are actually gonna see the game as a whole, like a 40-floor things that they need to clear. And the difference is at some point, and I think that's gonna happen now because Poulet doesn't have a pet anymore. Poulet's gonna pick up pace. He's gonna get faster. Whereas Reven should keep a very similar pace throughout the whole game, obviously depending on how easily can you find the elevators, but I think you can expect Poulet to at some point just screw leveling up, screw trying to get his blue Maya level or whatever, just rush. And whether he dies or not from it is going to be one of the big factors of the game, I think.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think with Reven, the danger will be more in keeping that pace, the demands of keeping that pace. Exploring more can ensure that you are safer, but it can also lead to you spending a lot of resources that you don't need, getting mired down in fights and so on. There's something to be said for knowing when it's time to sprint.
Yes, exactly. I think that's a mistake I've seen a lot from Reven. Not a big mistake, don't get me wrong. Reven is a crazy competitor, is really good. But one of the mistakes I think he does, and he's going to become a great runner once he starts doing it, is understand when he has the inventory to stop playing carefully. He sometimes ends up on floor 38, which is already great, but 7 charges of Fireball, 10 charges of Sleep, 5 charges of Paralysis. You could have gone much faster if you started to use them. Like, how realistic are you going to need all those charges on one floor, right?
Right.
So
that's, I think, going to be something we can see. And I think that some of this is a bit less of a mistake and a bit just more of a choice. And sometimes those choices will not pay off quite as well. Ooh, we see an egg on Poulet's side, and that could be something very interesting.
Oh, Griffin.
It's a Griffin, which isn't bad.
It is
Not super interesting, but not bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's committed. You will rarely see Poulet change his mind about a pet. Actually, you will rarely see Poulet care about a pet at all. So I assume he's going to use it to either feed or egg bomb or whatever. Yeah, he doesn't even care about the unicorn anymore. And taking the time to hatch is a commitment that I don't think Poulet is a big fan of generally. So I'd be surprised. It's not impossible, but I'd be surprised it would be used for anything else than feed or egg bomb.
Yeah, I think that's very likely.
All right.
Now, Kenny, there we go.
Yep.
No, not quite a spider ring, unfortunately.
It's the simplest equation in the tower. It's been a while since we last said it, but Kraken equals Ulim. If you have an Ulim in your inventory and you get in a Kraken situation, should be quite easy. Just chuck it down. And there he goes.
Mm-hmm. They're one of those things that is just too much of a bother. For the amount of time, the amount of animations, because electric shocks, etc. Now, we see Poulet entering that room that Reven just sort of paralyzed one monster and noped out of.
Yes.
It's interesting that he is sort of taking an immediately different track and getting punished for it pretty fast.
Punish, yes, but he knows how much experience these trolls are worth. He's gonna get like 2 levels out of it, I assume. Okay, 1 and some change.
And some change, yeah.
But still worth a lot, especially since he's only on level 8. Obviously, Reven is a little bit further away, so that makes sense that he doesn't know that Reven is away, but I know he understands that's kind of he might be a little bit behind. Like I said, Reven, his early game is crazy. It's on the later game that I feel that Poulet is gonna catch up if he's gonna. But yeah, he's gonna get some experience because later on you cannot have 49 HP. That's just not a thing. You're gonna get one shot by everything.
Right. We saw how much damage just these sword trolls can do, even at this point.
Yes.
Because that was a pretty dangerous state of affairs.
Yes.
Looks
exactly.
like Reven is taking advantage of that Holy Scroll. We saw him use the Mana Weaver, now we see him hiding out in the safe zone.
One thing we didn't discuss for those that might not be as used to it is once some monster you can pick up, some you can't. But oh my god, what is he doing here? Reven!
That is a scary room.
Oh, absolutely. When you take 2 damage from a he's gonna sack the bloom. Okay, no, Holy Bell. Still. Yeah, when you take 2 damage from a picket, it means like it's time to go.
Yep. That I think speaks to the low, for one thing, the low defense of the nearest shield, which is a pretty great shield if you have the time to take care of it, basically. Mm-hmm. I know Reven has a leather shield somewhere in his inventory. We might be getting to the point where that might be the better play.
Yeah. We've been doing some research behind the scene regarding shield. I say we, I mean Chai, obviously, but so the exact numbers of defense you get from a shield is actually very, very low. It's worse than you think it is. Obviously, early on, it changes everything. Don't get me wrong, but Coast defense is natural defense plus his shield. You get a total from that, and that total is divided by 2, and that's how much damage you're prevented. So a diamond shield only really prevents 3 damage, and if you were on an odd number, it actually gets you rounded up to 4. So the best the diamond shield can give you is 4 less damage taken. So, even when you're on floor 10, it's already useless.
Right. At which point the leather shield, with its higher heightened chance to dodge, really comes to the forefront.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
or-
Septic is right in that earlier when he was going through that particularly nasty array of monsters, probably nervous about the amount of time spent on that floor. Reven obviously does not know that he's a little bit ahead.
Yeah, but I like seeing how he's using resources now. So, you know, he's been using fireballs and stuff like that. That's exactly what I was talking about that I thought he could improve upon. And it's as if he heard me. Like, definitely starting to use some resources, making sure that he's moving along, and he's still getting some experience. That's exactly what I want to see from a Reven that I think can win.
Yeah, well, this is certainly a very good run.
Because don't get me wrong, being on floor 18, if you look on Poulet's side, and at 22 minutes is really good. But being on floor 22 at 22 minutes, ha ha ha, now you're talking.
Right. They are both going very quickly.
Absolutely. But like I said, this is definitely the match I had my eyes on for the week. I know both these players are really, really interesting, very, very good as well. Very different playstyle also, but, you know, Azure Dreams is a fun game, mainly because you can have different playstyle and still, you know, be good. So I really like to see, like the old guard style of play that Poulet can bring versus that newer, fresher style that Reven brings to the table as well.
Right. I don't think I quite realized that the Collar Jack Palumpa is noticeably a little bit more durable.
They are way too tanky for what this should be. For yeah.
For a Palumpa.
Yep, I think they have around about 50 HP, I'd say. It's way too much anyway, but yeah, they can be a pain. But as long as you keep your monster behind you, in which case Reven couldn't, but as long
Oh! Poulet found a trap to help him along.
Ooh! Alright, so that's the room we just saw, so Poulet is catching up a little bit, if nothing else. And he makes a friend. He didn't get to use these Holy Scroll earlier, so definitely that's going to help a lot here. And he's going to let these wee dogs fight for dominance. He everyone did win, but that's fine. He didn't care about any of those two anyways, and he's off. Floor 22. Ooh.
Oh, and there's a nice little go-up trap.
Okay.
Looks like there is a trap room that Reven does not have to deal with directly.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to enter the room, and suddenly he kind of wanted to come back. And yep, he doesn't even care about any of this. Poulet will just pick up the Dark Palumpa and be off. They're just one floor away, if I'm not wrong. Okay, 2 floors away, but...
Yeah, that gap has closed.
Oh, yeah.
Very quickly, because I think we're seeing Poulet get into sprinting mode.
And again, you can see Poulet kind of wants to, you know, move about, and he's going to try to use the paralysis. Oh, no, pillar. There we go. And we can see a difference in floor now, but it's been a lot of elevator trains on Reven's side. Poulet's going to get the same one, so I think it's much closer than we might see now.
Well, partially elevators and traps.
Well, they're going to be on the same floor now. As soon as clears that room.
Yeah, so that is something worth seeing. Oh, a trap scroll, the least interesting of the scrolls.
They'll be both on floor 25 on 25 minutes. That's a match. That's great.
That is a match. We are tied up. We could very well see a lead change here. Reven is a little bit in the lead because he got here first, but now Poulet has taken that lead.
Oh, absolutely. I was talking about that. I was talking about Poulet picking up the pace, and that's what we're seeing. He's stopped grinding. He stopped trying to pick up stuff. He's dashing from room to room, picking up the elevators, and he's on floor 27.
Very nice.
Oh, Poulet, let's go. All right. Oh, yeah. Reven is going on floor 26. He's going to find 27 really quickly. And, I mean, we still have a race on our hands. The situation Poulet is in is starting to become a little bit hairy. He's going to use a Griffin to kill that zoo. Very good move. You It could have missed though, so it was kind of scary in a sense. But I mean, they know what they're doing. You need to take some risks at some point, of course, and that needs not to miss. Let's go, paralysis, and he's off.
Yeah, I think on floors with stealths, medicinal herbs suddenly become a lot more valuable. You kind of can't just wait around for your HP to be restored. Oh, that's right. Monsters do not like holy scroll barriers, and that counts for your monsters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's starting to look a little bit iffy. Oh my god, what is situation?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he kind of needs to sack it. They are both on the same floor. That's gonna be a very scary situation. Yeah, you cannot push Neva either. You need to kill it. There's no way. Or yeah, Tuna could work. Tries to make it go away, but that's gonna be Tuna, I assume. Oh, Oli works.
Holy works, yeah. That'll keep everything else off of his trail for a bit as well, though slowed down just a little.
Yeah, these one wide corridors are definitely death traps if I've ever seen any. Poulet just wants to see a room, any room, doesn't care. It just needs to see something now.
Yep.
And he's gonna lose.
Oh.
No, he's fine. The elevator is there as well. But Reven definitely is catching up. They're both in the same corridor. Poulet's at the end of it though, and he's gonna reach floor 28 first, but Reven is right on his tail. That's crazy. There's coming in, but I mean, he's got the resources.
Yeah, I think that Reven's... Oh, there is absolutely a Manoeva by that elevator. He's going to have to take that hit.
What makes you say that?
Oh, good. It's the one that's not of the elevator. That's what you want to see.
It could have been two crystals standing out there. What do you know?
Only the truth. Right?
And they're gonna have to start to, they cannot fight anything. They're not gonna deal enough damage, even with a spell ball, actually. So they're gonna have to start paralyzing everything, which is a very fun but very dangerous strategy. Obviously, some of the monsters you cannot pick up, like this Maneva. Some of them are gonna...
The snowman! A lot of monsters coming up.
Yeah, and you're gonna leave loose ends if you paralyze an enemy and go around it like he's gonna do here. The problem is, once you're the other way around, he's gonna follow you from behind. And if an enemy monster comes from the other direction, you're actually pincering yourself, and that's coming up because that Maneva is coming in his direction, isn't it? Oh, it's not. Okay, that's good. He's good. Just so.
Yep.
4:30 at 29 minutes. 4:30.
Very nice.
Damn, these guys.
They have put on some speed. And these are some pretty solid runs. They could go all the way. I think this is that time to consider taking off your weapon.
Oh,
not worrying about the mirror shield anymore.
That's kind of crazy because obviously you do not care about weapon damage or weapon abilities. This sword is just reducing your accuracy at this point. The wand is much more accurate, but again, no reason to keep a money wand. So you really want to go with unarmed. But I've been talking about it, but very recently, so I don't think people have picked up on it yet. Yeah, you kind of need to go and yep, let's go. 31. Oh, and we get a death from a killer strike on Reven's side.
Right, and that means
chicken.
That Poulet has won the first round.
What a race!
Taking his lead exactly as Reven falls.
Oh my. This is gonna be a best of 3.
I think so.
Whew. Alright, give me a second so I reset it, guys.
So, as we reset, it is once again time to ask that. What do we think we're seeing today? I know some people have been calling for a napless starter, which is a great monster, except for the fact that it likes to take naps spontaneously.
For sure. Wow. Okay. If this is a sign of things to come, wow. I can't wait to see the next match. These guys are on fire. That was a floor 31 on 31 minute. Damn it.
That is just some lightning fast, and I'm hoping we'll be able to see some monsters that allow it to continue to keep up this blistering pace, keep some intense matches like the trail end of this one ended up being.
Yeah, exactly. And we can see actually on the Discord both the runners talking to each other, asking what happened on each side, and Poulet being very surprised that he actually wasn't first on floor 30, because he knows what a good pace is, and he was on a crazy pace. So knowing that he got there second actually means that Reven is a tough opponent. He's very impressed, and I can get the feeling I would be as well. Not many players can actually boast that they have had a floor a minute at floor 30. That's madness.
Right. I think that this is something that the randomization of the tournament does seem to make a little bit easier. It's not that the runners are not becoming more and more experienced and
sure.
really, really good, but I think also that in finding some of those unusual monsters, finding some of those unusual setups, sometimes it plays a little bit more to their advantage.
Oh, absolutely. The only item I think is never necessarily better is the fireball replacement. Fireball is a very good tool, and not having it definitely makes the early game crazy hard. And if you can save a few charges, it helps on the Zeus floor and stuff like that. So,
right.
Go on.
There are items that are just as good, namely the pillar and the blaze ball, which at this point will all have 5 charges regardless, so it more or less levels out. But at the same time, I think more so than anything else, it has the potential to be so disappointing.
Yes, exactly. The chances you get something better are so slim. But in terms of weapon and shields, it's you'd be hard pressed to get something worse, right? So you're almost always very happy. Same for the egg. I mean, I do love a cute Palumpa, but it's kind of useless. So having something better is always going to be fun. Now, people might not know much about it because when you play casually, you would rarely, use CUNY. You would be so excited to get new monsters. You're going to try out some new stuff, and some monsters are actually pretty good. But CUNY is really strong, and not having CUNY is also some kind of a detriment sometimes.
Right. While there are certainly monsters that can ease that compared to the regular play, there's also a lot of room for a lot of monsters that are a little bit worse in some capacity, or have spells that are tricky or more annoying to use.
Yeah, if you have the perfect amount of time to, create a beast of destruction like an Arachne Fusion Unblocked, obviously that's going to beat CUNY any day of the week, but you don't necessarily have time to do that, and the resources you're going to need to, have a cure-all or a water crystal to heal those stats that are not, climbing up as fast as they could. So, in a sense, at some point you're going to reach like a very high amount of damage and defense that makes no sense, but that's not going to happen in a random toolkit. I don't think so. I don't think they have the time to do that. Both our runners are ready to start the countdown.
So we'll be seeing them off in not much time at all.
And our runners are going to be off. Obviously, there's a little bit of a delay, but very soon you should see them start and run. What do we want to see in chat this time? They had an Orlando Bloom that was a lot of fun. But what do you guys in chat want to see next? They're going to get 2 monsters. One is going to be replacing CUNY, will have a random element, and is going to have its dormant spells awaken, if any. But the other one in the egg is not going to have the same treatment. No change in element, no awakened spell if it doesn't already have one. So what do we want to see here? I see in chat Saber and Dreamin', interesting. Good old CUNY, that's actually a choice, a possibility you could get CUNY. More than the way with a Saber, Garuda this time, haha. Yeah, Garuda would be an interesting one.
I might like to see a Barong.
Barong is so good because it can do two things, and the choices you make with these two options are so great. So people obviously know that Barong can be used as a gacha machine. You throw an item at it, and it's gonna spit out something new. That's cool. It costs a lot of MP. You can do it, I think it's 5 times before it actually runs out, but you can feed it, random herbs or seeds you find to get not an extra shot to get your machine. But the thing player doesn't know is its awakened spell is poison, and mixed poison is really good. It's the exact equivalent of the thunder wave you would get from a clown, but the fire version of it, and that's pretty strong.
Yeah, that is a little bit better than the clown's mixed magic in that regard, though it doesn't have the clown's crazy spell leveling.
Yeah, yes, Extra, actually, we did get Picket Maneva, but in practice yesterday, and that's a dream, and oh my!
So, what's that, Wugga? Wugga in chat said Saber plus 3. So, here's a dream, and don't think that's a Saber.
Yeah, they really want to edge that hag so quickly because, just a dreamin', let's go, Reven. We're strong with the beans. That's a tournament that's the first round, and it still takes the time to rename that bet, and that's a kid. Let's go.
Ooh, so I think we're never seeing.
You're never gonna see a Dreamin' go back home as quickly as you're gonna see that soon.
Yep. Kid is just a solid all-around, so really great.
Wow, yeah, for sure. Kid is probably the best monster, bearing none. It's pretty much uni, except it's got not infinite MP, but you can recharge 50 of its MP by just feeding it anything metal. That'll include coins you find on the ground, so yeah. They also have a life 1 to lifesteal. Honestly, really, really, really scary starting setup. They can go far with that. Alright. Trying to find some trolls to fight off really early on. And Reven with an early slow trap. I don't know. Damn it. Okay. This is also a Sen Knight seed. So sadly today we didn't get a chance to get any Deme seed. I know you have interesting seeds as well. But if this is a start with a kid and a restore scroll, what is gonna be what's gonna happen later? Because I don't make nice seeds.
Right, we'll have to see. Yeah, maybe we'll run into a monster den or something. That is, I think, or some very cruel traps.
Yeah, for sure. Did they get another restore scroll? Is there 2 scrolls on the first floor, or
I think it's more that there was a restore scroll in the last tower too.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's gonna hurt because, I mean, this is way too nice for a Sen Knight team. Something is gonna happen and it's gonna hurt. Alright.
Yeah.
So, very normal early game. They both have played the normal playstyle with CUNY, so they exactly know how to play this early game. They know the damage they're gonna deal. It's the same damage a CUNY would deal right now. And they know they never have to fear about MP as well. So as far as vanilla go, it's pretty close to vanilla, and you even see Reven use breath from afar. That gives you.
Why not? There are 3 copper coins in this room.
Exactly. It's just
coins are never so rare as to be really worth wondering. Should I use this? Yes, use it. They're coins.
To use the words of Shawnee in the community, this is a coin of berated bazooka. It can deal with anything. Alright, these guys are gonna go and hold these scrolls on the floor.
Nice.
This is madness. What's going on? Another medicinal herb, fireball. Wow. It's the toolkit they're gonna need for such a crazy endgame. I can tell you now. I mean, yeah, this seed has to have something coming in the backside. But it's also very fun to see our runner fare when they have a very good toolkit and when they have a very bad toolkit. These two extremes are definitely what I like to see the best. Is what do you do when you're so starved that you need to scrape by every little action you can? And I like to know, what do you do when I give you unlimited power? How do you use that?
Right. I think I do like a setup where the runners have some real choices to make. Like, I think that a kid is one of those monsters that kills all illusion of real choice.
Oh, for sure.
At least in terms of what monster do you use.
Yes.
You're not going to use the Dreamin'.
Exactly, especially when the other choice is a Dreamin'. If the other choice would have been Arachne, would have been, you know what, power versus, infinite MP. I guess there could have been an argument. I think I would have gone with the Arachne, to be 100% honest, but, I mean, Kid is definitely a good choice as well. But yeah, Dreamin' and Kid, no questions here.
Right.
But I mean, that's still a fun monster or fun pet to see. This is going to be, like I said, a little bit vanilla-like. The Scorch Shield might become scary. They might have forgotten they have a Scorch Shield and they're going to hit this water floor soon. So, yeah, that's going to be a very interesting setup. But yeah, of course, I assume I'd fuse as well. But I mean, as a starting monsters.
Right. Certainly, I can't think of too many things better. I think the other one, maybe Garuda, but Garuda is such a different thing. It is more or less a different animal.
Yes, exactly. I think I'd go with
It's an evil, not a dragon.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Garuda as well. It's so strong, but it's strong differently, like you say. I mean, U-Boat is also a very different option, but you wouldn't choose. You would just use one and keep the other one as a tool. I mean, there's definitely a lot of interesting choices out there, but it also depends on your playstyle. And I know a lot of people are big fans of New Yell because of the healing. I do like a good New Yell. If that's the best choice I get, I'll use it. And even though it's very powerful, I really hate that sometimes you forget that you need to, hit an enemy one final time to kill it, but instead, because you're low health, your New Yell will not do Mixer Magic as you ordered it to, and it's gonna heal you instead, and it's gonna heal you for like 20 health, and then you're gonna take 50 back, so you actually lost 30 in the process, and you didn't kill because you actually, didn't use your Mixed Magic because your New Yell didn't want to follow. Yep, little healing.
Right, that is... In general, losing control of the monster is not very fun. That's sort of the thing with, like, Napless. Why we somewhat sincerely and somewhat jokingly talk about it. We see all those breaths finally coming into the fray. There's a coin right there. Reven is just going to take those hits to get at it.
Yeah, he takes 1 damage from it. That's really not scary at all because of the Scorch Shield. But, this time, actually, Poulet hits floor 7 and 8 this time first. He said that Reven was faster, and he said, really? Now you can see Poulet's actually picking up the pace. No way he's going to become second again. Now he might die because he's stretching himself a little bit thin. But, yeah, Poulet is definitely somebody that will change his playstyle and adapt if he isn't fast enough.
Yeah, this is an unpleasant-looking room. I do like seeing some direct magic. It is because it is so expensive that most other monsters just cannot afford it.
Yeah, you're never gonna see direct magic outside of the 3 monsters that can cast it infinitely. Pickets, New Yell, and Kids, and their evolution, if any. Yeah, it is. Every magic is expensive. I think Breath is probably around about 10 MP, so... I mean, out of 60, you could cast it 6 times and then that's it. That's 3, 4, 5 encounters, I don't know. Yeah, you don't do that.
Right. So, they found an Earth Shield that is the one... that is, like, the shield that I think I might go for it in these circumstances.
Ooh.
At least because Reven had those truth glasses, I might consider it.
Yeah, a very interesting thing we've seen is a stream wand, and obviously Poulet did pick it up. The stream wand is a wand that is gonna increase your magic damage. Everyone does that, but this one's gonna increase it again by a big margin if the spell you're casting is water. That's not the case right now. Poulet is being casting fire magic. But if he can change his kid's element to water, that's going to be very powerful, A, and B. The tower is kind of harsh, but it's skewed towards fire and water monsters being the scariest. So having a water...
Yeah, and at least the scariest for their capacity for melee.
Sure, exactly, yeah. Wind monster are generally bad status monster. They're going to be a pain because they paralyze you, sleep you, blind you, try to make you lose by, crippling you in any kind of way. But they rarely are a strong fighter, or when they are, they hit hard, but they're super squishy. And of course, Fireball is going to take care of them super easily.
Right, that is the other thing, is that you have some potential for a damage supplement. Looks like Reven is putting on that Earth Shield. It is the opposite of cursed. It is blessed.
They need to kind of be wary.
Golf wand. Why the golf wand, Reven? Why even put that on?
Reven and Chud have been practicing a lot, and they really like the idea of having a wind monster, especially on the later water floors. They generally turn back into fire if they can with a fire seed, but I assume it's not a lot of inventory. He's got the space, why not keep it up? And if at some point he needs to change into wind element, he's gonna have the one to match it.
That is a good point, though. On the other hand, Reven also is now going to have that status effect forever.
Absolutely.
Basically forever. Oh, and there is a stream wand. This is all wand elements all the time.
Yeah, except the fire one, which you would definitely love to see right now, I assume. But Life One is such a great weapon. He's not in a bad situation at all. But, he would probably prefer to have some kind of a Scarlet going on. Yeah, that would be good. But the final thing I wanted to say, and I think that's kind of really important, is since they're still on Dreamin' floor, you need to remember that the monster they started with is a Dreamin'. So this Dreamin' can not only try to put you to sleep from melee, they can do it from afar now. And that's gonna, become really dangerous really quickly.
Oh, there it went right now, mostly.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm going to point out with, like, a little bit of, really, game devs? Really? You're gonna give the sleepy monster a sleepy spell?
Yeah, it's doubling down a lot on the same kind of thing, but I mean, it's still a very good mixed magic. If it was not of its very high cost, it's definitely the one you would like to have most of the time. But yeah, for sure. Low sleep from afar could be a pain, but I mean, we're out of Dreamin' territory. That's not going to come up anytime soon.
Well, Poulet is. Reven is about to leave us.
Oh, that's kind of scary. He kills the troll, but his dragon or his kid is probably very low on health. They are rather squishy. You need to take care of them. Kids are not... you should not put kids on the front line. That's tips for Azure Dreams and real life.
Right. You have to learn how to train them right.
Absolutely. But once they grow big and become dragons, obviously for kids to become dragons, and they'll be fine. A little bit of a pickle on both sides. Reven is going to be fine. And I assume, bearing my type of luck, I assume Poulet is going to be fine as well. But you can already see these two runners are on floor 13 and 14 respectively, or soon to be 15 in Poulet's case. And they are still very low level. I think 9 is fine-ish. That's definitely what I would be like around about those floors. But 8, not leaving on floor 13 is a little bit low. Those 50 HP are going to be cut into really quickly. And you can see Poulet feels a little bit under level. He's fighting Sleeping Monster where he doesn't really need to, but experience is going to be good here.
Yeah, it's certainly enough it's certainly, I think, a better way to get EXP than sort of waiting for a situation to come up, at the very least. And I can see where that would be desirable. For Reven, I think the risk is a lot about, well, he's just now leaving the Griffin floors.
Yeah.
And like, low HP on the Griffin floors is just begging to be sniped.
Yeah, exactly. That Scorch Shield is not going to help much either. These rises are very, very scary. But there's one mechanic in this game that I really, really like in a speedrun setting. It definitely wasn't thought of as a speedrun game, but the amount of EXP you get for a kill is very exponential. Grinding on floor 10 is 10 times slower than grinding on floor 12. Even if there's only 2 floor differences, the enemy is going to go from giving you 12 XP to 88. So the longer you can take before starting to, you know, not grind for a level, but kill enemies to get some experience, the more experience you're going to get. But obviously you're stretching yourself thinner and thinner every time. If they can wait for killing pickets, it's going to be better than killing Garudas. But can they is the question.
Right. And I would also say that Garudas are sometimes a little bit less annoying. Sometimes a little bit more. Depends on your monster positioning. Garudas are also a little bit more threatening.
Absolutely. Well, pickets aren't threatening by themselves. Well, they are, but I mean, the problem is they steal your inventory. They aren't successful. They're really easy to dispatch. And you can use a kid, like a kid being fired. You can use that to, you know, let it melee the picket. They cannot steal items from your monsters, but obviously...
Number 1, egg.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2... Oh, U-boat, that's pretty good.
I like this number 1. Like, number 1, yes, egg. Number 2... That was such a beautiful statement, just egg.
Egg. I actually forget what... Oh, Poulet has collected a Stream Wand and a Sea Seed, I think in a little bit. Probably we're gonna see maybe either when we're past Zoos or when we're past Picket. Yes, we're probably going to see him switch over to a water kid.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be past Picket. You don't want to be wind or water during the Picket floor. I mean, wind's not too bad, but water is terrible, and he knows it. I think he's going to wait on floor 20, so Viper Town to change. And I think that's a very clever... That's the final time I feel being water is more detrimental than hell. Obviously, there's later wind floors with the Zeus and stealth and stuff like that, but I feel at that point you should be in the clear and either just use your resources or whatever. But pickets are scary.
Right. It looks like Reven is taking the time tax that you eats him up a lot once he does it.
Yeah, for sure. He's making sure that he soften up this one, and the next one probably. I mean, did he get to know what the egg was?
It's a U-boat egg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He had truth glasses on his person.
Sorry, I didn't catch that one, but yeah, obviously that's going to be a big thing. Though he is slowing down, and I mean, U-boat is going to help to go faster later on, don't get me wrong, but U-boat was already in front, and he's just going to be more in front. He's going to clear like 2 or 3 floors by the time Reven actually hatches this egg, so it needs to pay off, not necessarily immediately, but at some point.
Right, it needs to pay off significantly, and that's going to become a situation. There is a cursed Skarmoan. I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah, Peter Fruit being stolen, definitely not a problem on Kid's side. He doesn't really care. He's just going to use coin to, you know, refresh that. But obviously, if there was a Scarlet one that's been cursed, I might have skipped that as well. That changes kind of everything in a sense, because he's going to use that for as long as he can, and at some point, you're just not going to care about damage anymore, I think. Even though Kid can bring you the whole way, don't get me wrong, Kid is definitely strong enough to bring you the whole tower, but I think you don't do that because you want to be much quicker if you can.
Right. We are seeing that U-boat get deployed for some scouting purpose. This is, and that is the big thing you want the U-boat for.
Yeah, you're gonna see the wee dog throwing meat on PouletSansTete's side. He's gonna take a beating here.
Oof.
Does he have a holy scroll? Okay, he does. Wow. You kind of need to use it, buddy.
Yeah, that's not one you see used so directly that way, but there's not a lot of other options.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of fire for days. I knew he had 2 balls, but he's found a pillar ball while I was not watching. He's got fire for days. He's actually going to use this situation to farm, so he's going to be super fine. Oh, he's just going to throw the picket. I think you kind of want to kill them for XP? Maybe not. All right. Yeah, he's going to be super fine. But yeah, that could have been really scary. And he left his bet on AI1, so it's not going to join in following him. But yeah, it's going to win against the picket, no problem.
Right, that's not... there's that cursed Scarlet Wand.
There you go. Alright, eat a medicinal, making sure he's not on low health for a trap, an unseen trap, or, you know, an arachne trucking along. He's going to try to pick it. And he's got a fire shield. Remove the shield. Oh yeah, tune it right away. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable.
Yeah, 29 damage is a lot of damage. I mean, obviously arachnes are just small balls of firepower, but... Ugh, my heart stopped for a second.
And you've got to remember that damage isn't perfectly consistent.
Yeah, there is a small, I think it's +1 -1 possibility when you roll for damage.
Right, so like, that was within that margin, more or less.
Yeah. Yep, pick up that egg before that, that little friend will go for it. Vipers in rooms will go for eggs before going for co all the time. He's gonna check it. I don't think it can be good. I don't think it can be Garuda. Oh, Kraken is terrible. And we're changing to water. Let's go. We're still on. We're still on a life one here, aren't we? So
I think maybe there was that cursed that Scarlet Wand. So no, unfortunately not.
Yeah, the other one's a little bit stinkier.
Not getting the fullest advantage of it. On the other hand, it's probably time to lose that shield.
Yes, especially considering we're gonna get to see water monsters coming up soon. We already have vipers that are kind of scary, but we're gonna get into very dangerous water monsters soonish, so you kind of do not want to have that around.
Right. There is, of course, so the elemental disadvantage is like a fairly sizable disadvantage, particularly to have on your defense. On your offense, it's like in some ways not so bad. Certainly, it's not insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to compare the two, and if it gave me the choice, would I rather have an offensive disadvantage or a defensive? I'd probably still pick the offensive, at least for a while.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Ko has got a decent amount of HP if you compare him to monsters, even though he doesn't scale very well. It's still a lot of HP. 71 at this point is a lot. Most monsters will have less going forward. But every other stat, especially defense, Ko is terrible at. So it's not that much good HP, if I can call it that, because he loses it so quickly. Don't give a multiplier to your enemy, please.
Yep. It is just that simple. So, Reven managing to get out of that situation using a couple of different items to do it, but it gets him through that floor. We are now on to Viper Town across the board.
Yeah, there we go. Reven catches on real quickly. This Viper is not going to fight back. So take your time and kill it. Oh, sadly, it's still going to get the egg. It's an animation you don't see often. But yeah, the sad part about it is that monster, if he ever hatches it, is going to have reduced attack because it's gone into the acid body of the Viper.
It's a Kraken.
Yeah, I know, we don't care about dragons, you know.
Right. It's something that could matter, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Which is certainly a lot of things about Azure, which is certainly a thing about Azure. A lot of which could matter.
Yeah.
Lots of little mechanics in the corner, etc. But so many things that don't matter.
It absolutely
We see
does.
Reven switching to that Earth Shield and then switching back to the Scorch Shield in rooms to hopefully not get blasted by a bomb trap. That is, I think, certainly the way to play when what you're stuck with is elemental shields.
Oh, and even if you're not stuck with them, I mean, shield juggling is very good. It's just got a lot of downside. You need to make sure to remember never having a Earth Shield inside a room or near a monster that can shoot fire. You also, need to find all three. That's a problem. But also you need to equip all of them and have none of them cursed, or at least have a decurse scroll to solve the problem. That's a lot of ifs, but once you're installed, it's not too bad, honestly. It's really good.
You get a little bit slowed down.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's certainly something that... Ooh, item room.
Oh, yeah. And a blaze ball of all things, and an exit loop. Wow, if only 2 items, these 2 are the best. Don't get me wrong, that's really good stuff.
That is just what you want to see.
Absolutely. Floor 23 on 26 minutes. Poulet is already flying. Oh, that's scary, though. Okay, he got the good shield to tank block, but you don't tank block. They punch really hard. So yeah, and that water dragon wouldn't have helped much. So kind of happy that
the spell ball. This is what your direct attack spell balls are for.
Yeah.
For wind monsters, you do not want to fight.
Yeah, he's giving a chance to. Yeah, good. I was gonna say he's giving a chance for that unicorn to attack the dragon, but then it brings it back behind him. Much better. That Scorch Shield is lifting its weight a lot, only taking 11 damage from a unicorn. You can try and pick up for days and not spend resources on them.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about wind elemental monsters. When they're not very unpleasant, and heavy hitters that are kind of squishy, once you open them up with a fire spell, they are fairly safe to go for the pickup on.
Yeah, this is a very different game. Obviously, the monster they add made them fight a little bit more, so they are not on a pace of 1 minute a floor, but it's still very impressive considering how high they are, considering they fought much more. But it's a very different game. Look at their level. They used to be level 10 and 12 around about floor 20, 30. And now they're 6 floors before that, and they are already at 17 and 14. This is 2 very different games.
Yep, and that is what this tournament is all about, is seeing some very different games, seeing some very different paces.
But I like it. Go on.
Poulet not very interested in the restore scroll. Certainly, if you have one, or even if you just decide that, I think at this point, it's probably fair to say that if you lose your monster,
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially on Poulet's side, I know Reven likes to have a good pet around and making sure he can fight back pretty much everything, taking a little bit more of its time. But I know Poulet considers his pet on borrowed time. Like, continue being useful for as long as you're going to be useful, and then, go away. Is there going to be a fusion here to become wind? There you go. All right. Okay.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting, because I don't think I've ever seen Poulet do that, and obviously that's the time. If you're going to do it, that's a good time to do so. But I mean, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, let's see how that plays out.
Oh, that Scorch Shield on stealth floor, isn't that a beautiful sight? That's a feel-good moment.
Reven also not bothering. Considered bothering with the restore scroll, decided, and I think fairly enough, that inventory is just too good. And now we have a very close race here. Reven just took U-boat strats.
Absolutely, and I like seeing Reven do that because right now I think that what you said is really important here, Deme. They have a crazy inventory, both of them, and Poulet is actually not using it to its full, wanting to fight a lot, and I think 24 is a little bit too late for that kind of stuff, especially against an opponent like Reven. You want to go fast now, so yep, you kind of need to go fast.
U-boat not locked so much as gently delayed a moment.
Yeah, sometimes the U-boat is doing weird stuff and, trying to find an exit to your room and stuck in there, but, at some point he's gonna find an exit. That's just kind of funny. Yeah, let's go. I see Poulet is using an exit loop, knowing that he doesn't want to be here for long. But still, Reven is in the lead by a little bit, but you don't want to, give too much leeway here because that's going to become really relevant really soon.
Yep.
So Reven is probably going to try and find a safe situation to use. Oh, that's not good. Oh, he still has the fire shield. 30 damage.
Yep. That is a scary amount of damage.
Yeah,
I think looks like he's trying to decide what to use. I would probably have used the egg, but maybe I've been around to do so.
I think it was still a clever play, honestly. I think I would have thought of this as well, but I mean, malicious also works. But yeah, this is going to be a very tight race. That situation did not pan out exactly as Reven would have wanted to, and Poulet is in the same room. Let's see how he tackles it. Takes a hit right off the bat. Let's go.
He could not have hit without taking a step back first. I think that is a good point. It looks like Reven's getting a little bit more use out of his U-boat with a lamb fruit. Oh, that's a party. Ooh. This is not a pleasant situation.
No, that's a party and everyone's invited. Yeah, okay. Taking a hit here. Does it still have the wind shield? I think so, right? The earth shield.
Yeah, he has that on at the...
Oh,
that is a lot of damage.
Yeah, sacking the kid. Oh, not even. Okay. Good.
I think probably hoping to lose the snowman in the room. Looks like that worked out. Sections. Good for losing monsters that are on your tail.
Yeah, but that could give the... Yeah, oh, wow! Wow! If that's not close. If they both die on the same floor, I don't even know what we do. That was so close. Okay, what's going on? That's a high five if I've ever seen one. These two guys aren't...
Right. This, I guess, could make a rare instance of a possible tie.
Oh my god, and a pair of Naplises is just coming along, falling asleep. You need to give it some time because it's going to fall asleep again and again. They're both scouring the entire floor trying to find out where's the next elevator. Oh wow, loops galore.
Loops and grasses. Look, Reven doesn't really have to search for the elevator, just has to get there, which is not in and of itself always an assurance. But there we go, Reven taking the lead.
But Poulet right behind on his trail. He's definitely already know where the elevator is. He's going to be there very soon, but that gives some time for Reven to try and build up an advantage. But yeah, that didn't take long. Poulet is already on floor 29.
Very nice. This is a very close match here.
It is. It really is. But that U-boat is going to start to pay dividends. It is close, but it is not at the same time because, like we said, Reven did take some time to hatch up this U-boat, and now it's just, paying a lot of dividends. Is making sure that he's getting to floor 30. Yeah, he's going to get to floor 31 before Poulet even get to 30, I feel, because, maybe not, because he's going to have to take the U-boat out. That's so close. That's so close. I don't even know.
Right, it is an intensely close match.
It is, and the other thing is, it's not just relevant to know where the elevator is. Of course it is, but I mean, you still need to get there, so you can get all the info you want. If you get in a bad situation the other one doesn't get into, then, I mean, yeah, so many things could go right and wrong.
Right, that is the thing. Now, how to avoid running afoul of that killer?
Yes, using the
Really?
2-tile elevation, making sure that the killer can act, even though he's 1 tile away, cannot actually attack. That's very, very clever of Reven, and Reven shooting in the void, but that's fine because he knows the killer is going away.
Killer's going away. Elevators right there.
And he's gone. Floor 31, we're going to see some Beldo action. He's going to talk to us and try to scare us away.
Probably going to talk to us. There are glitches, but those aren't very likely. Poulet getting a full dragon on his side.
Yeah, like in real life, when they reach maturity, kids become dragons, and then they are unstoppable. And by unstoppable, I mean getting one-shot by a maximum. Like I said, like in real life. So, obviously, increased stat growth is not super relevant. A kid becoming a dragon is not necessarily going to help a lot because that dragon is not gonna level up much more now, I think. So yeah, we're gonna see both these runners reach on 32 almost at the same time, but Reven has a small advantage still.
Very small advantage.
Wow.
To run that could.
Oh, Holy Bell is scary. I'm not sure that's... I think I like the idea of a tuna better, but that's fine. That's fine. Both worked. And actually, it was faster for Poulet to do so, so that's good.
Kids become dragons. Think about it. Don't goat horns look like dragon horns to you? And you never see a goat that's past size either. So they get bigger and become goats, and then they become dragons.
Yeah, exactly. At level 20.
At level 20. You just almost never see a goat that's level 20.
Exactly, because they become...
Very hard to raise goats for EXP. Reven in a little bit of a spot here.
Yeah, they're both in a tight spot to be... Oh, okay.
Ooh.
The scary part is, Poulet doesn't have another shield. I think it's so bad to have a scorch shield out now. I think I'd go shieldless. The difference...
better.
Yeah, because those glaciers are gonna hurt like hell. Get out. Yeah, he's gonna... No, not even? Oh my god, it's so stressful now.
Yeah.
Alright. He gets it. Oldie Bell, okay. They can still shoot, and all these 3 enemies have range attack. They cannot shoot you as long as they are...
Oh no, a frog trap.
Oh, that's...
Not what you want to see.
Oh no.
Restore scroll, right? Or nothing, depending on how Reven is feeling about his time.
Yeah.
That at this point, it must be such an intense feeling, because like Reven's very high up, but has not yet heard something happening to Poulet. This is another room you don't want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be a lot of scary on every side. There's only 1 floor difference now, but it counts for a lot. And the monster Kraken doesn't actually hit exactly where he wanted. Still a kill on the golem, but I mean, that glacier is awake now and he wants to get some blood. That's a very scary prospect. That scorch shield is going to bite you in the behind.
Yep. Just take off the scorch shield. Take all the shields off. I'm not even sure with Dragon that I would bother with the Earth Shield either. Just shields aren't worth enough.
Yeah, and you don't want to take another, like, 20 damage is going to be way too much, but more importantly, preventing that damage with a kid is not going to be enough either. Oh, he's playing with it, and that's going to be scary. Fire charges, they're fine, but I mean, yeah, if he gets a dragon on the other side, it needs to choose between breath and... Oh, that's a scary prospect. You kind of need to turn the corner. Now that Earth Shield is going to be strong enough to prevent you from dying from a glacier shot, but what prevents it from doing it again and again?
Right, that is the thing.
It starts wiggling a little bit, and there we go. I think that's going to de-aggro, though, so that's kind of fine. Yeah, 14 damage.
Yeah, so I would probably take... more
That's fine.
glaciers.
Yeah, the other one had to turn left, so that's good, but I mean, that's going to be scary now. And, I I mean, he doesn't need a dragon anymore. I think that's kind of good because he's going to be a little bit more liberal with his movement. It could, like, he needs to go fast now, right? Whereas I think Poulet is still maybe fighting a little bit too much, but yeah, oh, he's going to get hit again.
Yeah, not sure what he was hoping for there. I think he was hoping for the move a little bit less time than they did, but they don't take less time than they do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I think it's enough. Yeah, it's enough, but the other one is going to be a Grode now. Oh, not even. Okay, that's
just barely.
Yeah, just so, but yeah, it's starting to look a little bit thin on Reven's side. He's got resources to do well, and he's still, well, they're pretty close to one another, but yeah, I think Poulet's position is a little bit safer, but I think it's going to make Reven play a little bit faster, so let's see how
a lot will depend. Oh, well, that's fortunate.
Yeah, well, you take those. And that's
you take it.
536, I think? 36, right?
This will be 36. Oh, no.
Oh, no! And that's one-room floors with pillars as well? Okay.
Oh, that's unpleasant. That's not what you want to see here.
The last time we saw that, I beat the world record for the longest curling shot on the elevator. No, no, we don't say those things. My. How do you, like, it's a one big room, so every monster's in the room sees you, and that's one room, so everyone sees you.
Oh, there's some curling!
Go on both sides, go back from whence you came.
We'll have to count these down. Oh.
Shield.
And then Reven goes down.
There first, didn't he, actually?
Reven got there first, and so we're going to have to see if Poulet can survive this room. And certainly, having the dragon helps.
Oh my.
But if Poulet can just make it a little bit further...
No, that doesn't go! That's too high! Oh, he needs to put... Oh, no! Move there diagonally, that's good.
Okay, just a little bit further now.
He's fine. And Matt! Out that side! You guys see it here first!
That was an intense! And it's ending to round 2. Play.
My God, that was madness! How many exclamation mark can I put here? Okay, that's a lot.
Certainly worthy of it. Yes, to tell Poulet he's won, we might see a 4-5.
Those were races. They were so close, both of them. That was absolute madness. We'll let Poulet actually try and clear the tower, but I mean, and the pace as well. They had to slow down on those last 2 floors because they were so scary. And still, they are at 42 minutes of 39 floor. That's mad.
That is really some intense speed there.
Yeah, and the scariness. I mean, I know Reven knows not to use Elemental Shield in the weakness state, but I think it's going to be a rough reminder to always check your shield before. And I'm not saying that in a patronizing way. I've done these mistakes a million times before. It's just something you forget that you have equipped, and didn't come to bite behind, sadly.
Right. Most of the time, some of these reminders are things that don't end up punishing you especially hard, and so you might forget, because sometimes things could matter, but they don't.
Yeah,
and here we see Poulet making it to the top.
What a set of races! My God! Oh my! When I said before this match started, this is gonna be the match of the week. I mean, the week's not done yet, but you guys have got a lot of work to do to beat that. That was madness. My God, I'm gonna try and get them to do interviews. I definitely want to know how they feel right now. That was crazy.
All right, while we're waiting on them, for them to come back. I will be back in just a moment.
Absolutely. So, chat, talk to me. What, how do you feel about what just happened? I know it's crazy. I know it's madness. We're gonna get to talk with the guys soon, but I mean, my heart's still pumping blood so fast. That was a lot of fun match to watch, and I know it's got to be scary on those ends because they don't get to see their opponents, so we get a little bit more, craziness and madness watching how close they were. But imagine being in their head right now, how they have to feel. Where did they feel they were behind? Did they feel they were in front? And they were actually so close together. Yeah, it could have been closer, but I mean... Oh, actually, yeah. I didn't even think... I so want to talk to them. They could actually, do a third. Oh, yeah. Let's ask them. Oh, they are down for a friendly third. Interesting. I'm sorry. I was so excited. I just want to talk to them and what's happening. But yeah, of course, the friendly third is going to be fun. I don't know how they're going to tackle the friendly third. I tend to, get a little bit more meany in these matches. But maybe they'll take it seriously. I don't know. But I love seeing both. I would really want to get another match like that one. Or, get some good memes going on. They're going to reset really quickly. And we're going to get to see that third match real soon.
Ooh, we're getting a friendly third today. Excellent, excellent.
More Azure Dreams. More Azure Dreams.
Means this should be an interesting match. Probably not nearly so intense. There's a lot less on the line here.
For sure.
But on the other hand, this leaves some room for some goofier strats.
Nobody would do that. They may, come on.
I can't think of someone who friendly third just to goof around. Cannot imagine it.
It's such
How could this occur?
It was such a fun thing to do, though. It's nice. It showcases stuff. I don't know.
It is very fun. There are certainly a lot of things that you don't see a lot of in a tournament setting because it's not especially practical. It's sort of like Pokemon. Most Pokemon racing is, kind of limited.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that you're probably just going to pick a particular monster and solo with it the whole way, etc. And that's
Yeah.
and that's certainly neat to see as a display of execution.
For sure.
But there are so many other fun monsters that are just not going to be viable to use.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. Some of the monsters are just not necessarily useless, but yeah, seeds are fine. I'm gonna just get them to know that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They're not all competitive, but sometimes you just want to use them because they're cute or something,
Right. Sometimes you just have a favorite.
Exactly. I mean, Palumpas are horrible, and Dreamins are kind of bad, but I mean, they're kind of cute. Trolls as well. Trolls are really bad, but man, look at those small smiley faces.
They have adorably small smiley faces.
So, you kind of want to have one, but I mean, once you realize how bad they are, maybe you don't, but it kind of be a challenge, right? Bring it troll to the top floor.
Ah! Trinitronomy, allow us to explain. Yes, this is a randomizer for like what we are random, but our randomizer can do a lot of things. It can change up. For one, it can de-randomize. For two, it can change up monsters, elements, spells, what floors you find them on. It has a couple of special modes. And for this purpose, what we are doing is giving them 5 random items to replace starting items. So, 1 random weapon, 1 random shield, 1 random spell ball, 1 random monster egg, and a medicinal herb. And we are giving them a random monster of a random element with its spell unlocked to replace the starting monster cube. So this does have some things which are randomized. randomized, and there are some things can randomize, but yes, the initial goal of randomizer is a de-randomizer.
Yeah, exactly. The seeding function
But
was.
once you've taken apart a game to see how it works, you might as well play around, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was so much fun too. At first we made a category called New Game Plus. It became its own thing, and it's still being ran today. But the idea behind it was, what do you do when you have a different loadout than the basic, copper sword, wooden shield, and stuff? And this random toolkit tournament is actually a spiritual successor to the idea of New Game Plus, which is, yeah, you don't choose your 5 items, it's randomized, but it's a lot of fun to see what they're going to do with these different stuff. Now, obviously, the rest of the tower is going to be filled with new item and ideas and things to build your inventory upon, but those 5 starting items are sometimes very defining of the strategies you're going to use throughout the whole tower, and having a new pet, new weapon, can actually make you plan much differently than the casual or normal CUNY Palumpa egg at starting.
Right. We've seen that across the 2 matches in today's race here. We've seen the difference in pacing and styling between having the coin-operated machine gun that is a versus having all paralysis all day long that is having a wind bloom as the starter.
Oh, and Poulet taking time to throw out some love to chat. Reven going with Jester as a name, which is one of his favorite character in a show online called Critical Role. Showing some love for the things you really appreciate in life. So let's go. These guys are just, having fun, embracing pleasure. This is a friendly third. This match has no incidents on the tournament itself, but these 2 runners want to run more for you guys, for your entertainment. So let's see what they have in store.
Yep, we should be getting them going in just a moment.
Yeah.
We've had some fairly generous seeds. Maybe this one will be just mean.
Who knows? So what do you want to see in chat? You want to see as the monster replacing CUNY and the egg at the beginning, and also Demi, what do you think they're gonna get?
Well, I'd like to see something fairly mean, but I keep thinking about that Annapolis.
Oh, Annapolis would be so fun. We haven't seen Annapolis yet, I think, in the tournament.
We have not. I like them at least to look at, and so Palumpa! Palumpa%! Let's go! I wanted mean, here is mean! Probably. The secondary monster could make it.
No, if they're real competitors, they don't pick up the other egg, and they never bag the Palumpa. Palumpa% or bust. This is how this game's played.
Fire, Palumpa! This is what we like to see.
It's so cute, it's kind of pinkish, I love it.
It is adorable. Ice Shield. That egg, unfortunately, looks like it might spoil.
No. This is unacceptable. I cannot believe I'm seeing it. Reason.
So disappointing.
Oh, Univern. It's actually not that good, so maybe they're gonna keep the Palumpa.
Maybe hope springs eternal.
Hey, it's got Dia heal. That's not too bad, right?
Right.
Can cast it a few times. It's actually pretty good. It's just the MP that's. Oh my god, what's that?
Wow. They're gonna die.
Send Might Seed coming right back at you now. This was not. The last seed was not a good seed for the sake of a good seed. The swing back of the hammer was in the next seed where you get a Palumpa in the starting room. That makes no sense.
Certainly, looks like they have managed to come out on top. Getting through. Oh, a frog trap, of course. No, Palumpa, no! Brave Spirit!
This scene is so beautiful. I'm crying a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Palumpa% for sure.
They say when you have the Sand Knight, see an angel gets its wings.
Poor little thing. Yeah, you gotta save the Palumpa. Put your life on the line. It's really important, making sure that this little cutie ball of pinkiness gotta survive. You gotta bring it all the way to floor 40. That's really important. That's your mission in life.
Yep.
And that's cute now, but soon this Palumpa will have 0 MP, and now you kind of need to, you know, put it in your hands. You can't put it in your bag. That's not a thing you can do. Like, it's fine. Reven did it once just to make it survive, so I can get it. But, I mean, later on, you don't bag it. You keep it on your side, in your hands, and making sure that everything's going to be fine, right?
Right. Safekeeping. For those of you who know where Palumpa percent and Sandknight has described the rules for us in details, is a fine category of that we have made up for our amusement. We always get a Palumpa egg, so why not use it?
Absolutely. I mean, that little boy really wants to get to floor 40. I mean, how could you say no to that cute little face? and not seriously, because obviously it's not, but I mean, on a little bit seriouser note, it's really hard. I mean, the spell it gives is really good, but the MP is gonna be really low, and making sure it always survives. Palumpa gets no stats when they level up. I mean, they do, but it's so little. They are weaker in every capacity to every other monster in the tower, if not second to last.
Right, they're not a Magikarp, they're just bad.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They're never gonna grow to become, you know, that big destruction dragon. They just stay that little cute thingy. But Fire Sword and Deviator is actually a very mean combo, except for the mana problem. It's actually a very decent start, to be honest. Yeah,
it's not terrible.
Yeah,
I can think of worse.
Yeah, for sure. It's already on 23 HP, but, well, it's already on 32 MP as well. Like, it's already lost 8 MP, which is huge, but, I mean...
No, it'll never turn into... Sometimes you love things not because they are perfect, but because they become perfect when you love them. In order to be lovable, something must first be given love. Mm-hmm. And that is the nature of Palumpa. That is the thing Palumpa can teach us if we open our hearts to understanding.
Yes. That's a very good lesson to get when you're gonna die on 4-7, Demi. Thank you very much for that insight.
Oh.
That's a trap room if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Only 3 traps so far, but obviously there's probably another one hidden somewhere. Yeah, just leave the room, Poulet. Continue trucking along, making sure that Palumpa... I'm so happy that neither of them actually turn into the universe. Like, we're seeing a very proper race now.
Yes. Neither of them have decided that the more stable but MP expensive monster that you can't pick up is what they want. Hello, SpeedGaming 3. We're in the midst of a friendly third. They have the worst monster in the game, or one of the worst monsters in the game. They are on a delightful romp with their low MP little friend.
Absolutely. They're gonna try to attempt and climb the tower in as quickly as they can, but they, like Demi said, they have the worst monster possible in the game, and they stick into it, making sure that they try to bring that cute little boy to floor 40. If you want to see a main category of Azure Dreams gameplay right now, you're in for a fun time.
Yep. I think the Palumpa Bust is about the only thing I have written on my little note card for Palumpas. Things I need to know about Palumpas. Palumpa percent. Lol.
Yeah, what Septic Tank says in chat is really important. They cannot even finish up their pita dinner. What he means by that is obviously a joke, but it means that they only have 40 MP and a pita recovers 50. So they don't even, like, you lose 10 MP for using the pita.
Oh no!
No!
Palumpa!
Palumpa, no! Fight, Ho! It's on 1 HP! Oh, we can bag it! All right, that's fine, that's fine.
Hooray! Palumpa.
Because obviously, if the Palumpa dies, you lose, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not about Ko, it's all about the Palumpa.
Oh, is this that trap room from earlier, or is it a trap room with a similar bit of geometry?
It might be the same one, I don't know. Yeah, we gotta call Peter or something. I mean, he's not taking care of his pet fine. It works, it works. You gotta take all the brunt of the damage for yourself. That's how it works.
Ah, yes. PETA, People for the Inadvisable Treatment of Animals. Since, after all, we all know that here, PETA has to be spelled with an I.
Absolutely. That's why they're called Peter fruit, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're Palumpa die, you die in real life. I mean, you gotta make sure you take care of that cute little face. It's not a forget-me-not, just forget me, please. Oh my. Alright, blind plus warp. Yep, that's gonna be scary.
We in the Azure Dreams community believe in simple pleasures. In the simple frustration of having a game that you, of enjoying a 20-year-old game, of laughing endlessly about Palumpas.
Yeah, I mean
Who really thinks we could want more than that out of life?
Yeah, there's a German term that probably everybody knows by now, but definitely represent how we feel about our own community, which is Schadenfreude. As far as I know, it's translated, or it means like to take pleasures in the suffering of others.
Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty good representation of what we do here on SpeedGaming.
Yep. I mean, we also enjoy the there's because certainly they all come suffering. Triumph is in Azure Dream a rare and precious thing that one does not come by terribly often.
Exactly. You kind of need
suffering is a buffet.
Yes, exactly. You kind of need to have, like, I don't know how to say this, but you kind of need to know how to react to losing, and most importantly, in unfair ways. Like, when you lose and it's your fault, you can be like, I played badly, that's my fault, that's on me. And be pissed about yourself, and that makes sense, I can get that. But I mean, sometimes you'll just be walking with a very good setup, playing perfectly, and you'll walk on a trap and die. That's really something you need to be able to, you know, walk off, right? Walk it off, just think about something else, that's fine. It's not your fault, you played your best, and Tower just decided you wouldn't reach for it this time. But yeah, this is a game where you need to have some mental composure as well. That's kind of something really important to have.
Yep, and we have all been there.
Oh, for sure. And, I mean, you develop some as well by just, you know, playing the game, but in a tournament setting, the crazy thing is these things you have mastered, like your mental fortitude you think you've mastered, is gonna actually come back to bite you, and you're gonna see, oh, I'm not as tough as I thought I was. Like, losing a match is going to put you in such a mental state, and maybe you'll start playing badly. But I'm really happy to have seen these two matches between these two guys, and they actually performed so well, both before and after winning or losing. So it just goes to show how strong these two person are in general.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They were given pretty good hands in the first two, but they also worked really hard at them. Also, ooh, egg. Obviously, we would not want to leave behind Palumpa.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Perhaps then we could fuse into Palumpa.
No, that's egg to be fed to Palumpa to recover its MP. That's a snack.
You won't finish it scrambled egg either.
Oh,
balloon. There we go. See? It's not better than
Oh, poor little thing. So they're both on the 9th floor at 12 minutes, which is not terrible either. I mean, like I said, as long as this Palumpa's got MP, it's not too terrible.
Yeah, it's fairly normal. It's mainly just that it runs out of MP pretty fast.
Yeah, and you cannot realistically use AI1 with it either because its attack power is so little that it doesn't matter much about how much damage it's going to do before the encounter starts. But the mixed magic is not going to be weaker. It doesn't depend on the monster that casts it. It's only the level of the spell that's relevant.
Yep, also, Reven's sort of guiding you into a pen, into a little trap.
Alright. Both reaching floor 10, which is generally a place where you're going to start to be breathing off a little bit easier. But yeah, Palumpa is already out of MP. The first speed is being fed, making sure that he can continue to truck along. You always feel good when you know you have another item somewhere, so there's an egg to be fed here. But yeah.
Ooh, lots of traps. Not sure I really want to be one. Frog.
Yeah, this seed has been really rough on traps so far.
Yeah, it's been a wild seed. I see you were saving all of your for this.
I gotta work on the best Zen Knight seed I can. I wanted to showcase a player, but now, you know, fear my mighty power.
Mm-hmm. Palumpa's appearance doesn't need to be fixed. It's fine the way it is. Look at it. Oh, hello!
Oh my god. It's a... Isn't that like a 1 in 4,000 something chances? Why is this happening twice?
Wow.
People asking for acid rain and people saying no. I can't wait to see, do we get an acid rain? And Poulet going for AI1. That's so bad. 3 damage. No,
No.
Bad volcano. And acid rain, no, yes, maybe. Go for it. Acid rain! Do we get a soft lock? Palumpa's getting shot at! No!
Oh no!
Excellent, excellent.
Fantastic.
Oh, gives it a Mezar.
Didn't even soft lock.
You good, good.
Poulet understands how to be a good Palumpa owner.
It's become a buff Palumpa. Oh, good items though. Very nice. Monsters are starting to respawn, but it's very slow, so that's good. It can take a little bit of time to scout.
Yeah, this is... You know, I actually always really liked one-room floors as a kid. For one, because I was just, in general, a little bit safer, and number two, you could see where all the treasure was, you could see where the elevator was.
Yeah, you
It was a little scary. Right. Yes, Professor Ness, this game does sometimes soft lock if you acid rain a monster den or thing where it needs to be calculating a ridiculous amount of EXP.
Yes, that's not a bug pertaining to how many enemy you kill. It's based on how much experience. We don't know if it's like too much experience compared to what level you're supposed to be in, or too much experience and that's it. But we know we've seen, and actually we thought Programmer fixed all of the problems based on that, but actually we've, even though there is a fix for these kinds of bugs on the randomizer now, there's actually still more XP problematic soft lock that can happen during that, so sadly. And good use of the water ball on Reven's side, making sure that this Palumpa can take rises. Can it take rises? Yeah, 2 damage, let's go.
It was like watching a little slap fight.
Yeah, nobody's dealing damage. Yeah, obviously the water ball is gonna decrease water damage by I think it's 75%. Fire damage, sorry. By what I think is 75%. And we see it on the other side as well. Let's go.
This is, I think, about the peak moment to use it. There aren't that many but when you find one,
Oh yeah, it can make all the difference. 2 rises in a row. Luckily, Ice Shield and Water Ball is going to help a lot here. But yeah, so 75% reduced damage might feel like it's not that much, but it's before calculating damage reduction from defense. So having that damage halved and then reduced makes it so you usually get to 1, not necessarily very easily, but yeah.
right, it's just a much better position.
Yeah, and they're both trucking along, and I know that the question they have on the back of their head is, okay, I went for the meme and played the Palumpa percent or bust, or did my opponent do the same? And I'm really happy to know they both did, but for the longest time, they'll ask themselves, did my opponent actually went with the same thing? If not, then I kind of look weird, right? But, you know,
Right.
all's perfect. They're both running with the memes. It's really important.
They have not let their memes be dreams.
No, don't let your memes be Azure dreams. Don't let your Azure memes be Azure dreams. How does this work?
It's a good question. I think being Azure is better for a place for memes than non-Azure dreams.
Oh, that makes sense.
Certainly.
Alright, trucking along.
There's a line Nico says that has been sort of ringing in my brain for completely unrelated purposes recently. It's when she's talking about building the there are people who something their dreams and people who dream about their dreams.
Oh.
And I don't know what. And I've been thinking about that a lot in terms of other characters and other possibilities. And it's a line. It's an interesting line. I like it.
It really is. It's all about, you know, it's fine and dandy to think about things you could do, but it's kind of irrelevant if you don't do them. Not that theoretical ideas are not interesting, but, you know, if they never crystallize and become something, oh my god, that's
This is true. This is a gauntlet.
It's not only a room, there's no exit on the, well, now would be the southward side, so that's a dead end. They need to up. Yeah, that's a stop as well.
What I would probably do here is get an item, step on it, and then just sort of wait this out.
I think you might be right here, because you don't want them to, you know, have a shot at your inventory. Going with the pickups is probably what I would have done anyway, but I think your idea is much more clever.
Right, especially because now Reven is sort of stuck.
And still, again, using that water shield. Reven, please, taking 8 damage.
You gotta watch your elemental shields.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, 2 and 2 again. Oh, 2 and 3, that's 5. He's actually gonna get beaten up pretty bad here. Malicious Scroll, okay. Can lose a Malicious Scroll. Right here.
Well, Prof NES with a good lore point that I hadn't ever thought of, that the bike might look the way it does. Huh, and nothing got stolen, wow. Because it might be meant to look like a mule, the thing you ride on. Mules are horses for some inexplicable reason.
Well, it absolutely is, in my opinion, built around the idea of a new yell. But, I mean, you could have done a bike that looks like a new yell that doesn't look like that, right?
Right. You definitely could have done some things to that design.
Yes, I mean, I have nothing against some Phallic's design, but this is pushing it a little bit far.
Particularly with the vibration.
Yeah, that's kind of, you know, yeah, well, anyway. You can
Anyway, that bike has some design flaws, let's put that.
Yeah, unless there's a gyro in it, it probably is, you know, kind of a forward slanted, so you kind of need to put your weight behind it.
It is an issue.
Yeah, why am I not changing subject now? So,
That's a good question. I think because we see that balloon being put to a proper use, chucked at something. It could have also become food.
Yeah.
But I think the question on Reven's mind is how to get out of some of these nasty intersections. While it might be possible to dodge the attention of that, now there's some.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good, but now it's more of a pain. The sleep ball as to be used here because you don't want to enter the room. Your Palumpa is gonna get back inside.
Oh.
Yep, pick up left.
Go for the pickup. And just gets into it.
Alright, and pickets are really doing a job on their inventory right now, and it's kind of a pain. Poulet really wants to get his stuff back, but you know. Yeah, that picket is just juked in him. For all the Manivas you guys have juked, you've been juked by a picket.
Yep.
Alright, let's go. Let's get his water ball back. It's actually going to be kind of relevant later on, I assume. If they want to protect that cute little Palumpa. Ooh, my.
Oh dear, that could be very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I sadly don't think Reven will be able to protect the Palumpa any further.
Yeah, you gotta bag it. No, you gotta bag it. Oh, that's a dead.
That's a
Not
dead.
a dead. That's not a dead. That's an alive. You gotta pick up. Let's frickin' go!
Okay. That was a lucky pickup there.
Oh, it's the nerves. Okay, you need an elevator pretty darn now. And there you go. No traps on his way. Reven is actually out of that floor. Let's go!
Wow! That was some excellent skill at not giving up.
Oh, and Poulet during that time being bullied for his lunch money. It's crazy. He doesn't have anything else in his inventory. They just took everything. This is the best set of matches ever. It kinda is.
It's pretty great.
Oh my. Okay, he's going for the bell pickup. That's it. Oh, why did it? Oh. He might need that familiar bell really darn soon if he goes down left. Okay, that's fine. He cannot. Nope. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I guess you take the hit.
He'll take a hit. He'll live.
Sure.
And this way he can always call Palumpa back to his side.
Yes, exactly. So that's the best bell ever. That's the best item in his inventory. The power to bring back the cute little pink face to his side under almost any circumstances, barring being absolutely destroyed by everything that exists in this tower.
Right.
In which case, they'll need a restore scroll, obviously. But I mean, would that be the same Palumpa?
I think so. I think if we're taking that, I would say so. Unless you want to argue that Cody's not one continuous person, but a series of non-continuous people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if the Palumpa really just is what, like the soul of the thing inside of it, do you kind of bring back the soul inside the body? In which case, what is the body? Just a vessel? I mean, we gotta get metaphysical.
We are going to point out that this Palumpa would return to consciousness and your home without you doing anything special when you leave. So I think it's just knocked out rather than killed.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, the real question, existentially speaking,
Sure.
what are monsters that you fuse?
Ah.
Are they the same as the monster that it has the shape of? Is it a completely different monster that just coincidentally looks and acts and is in many ways like, but in some small ways different?
Well, depending on how you want to see this, but if you talk about like teleportation based on demolecularization and then rebuilding yourself later on somewhere else, It's considered to not necessarily be you because your personality is probably more based on the connection in your synapses, and these are going to get destroyed in the transportation process because they're not cells or matter really, they're just electrical connection. Then in that case, I assume fusing two monsters actually kill them both and create a third thing.
Right. You know, I remember seeing a really terrifying Canadian short cartoon about teleportation through that sort of mechanism and the question of self. It ended horribly.
Yeah, Canadians cartoons are scary.
This was something that I think aired in the O Canada show, which was like a collection of late at night on Cartoon Network.
Damn it. Yeah,
it ended with a woman sort of forcing the inventor to go through his own theoretical destruction machine. Something went wrong. She ends up using that teleporter on herself. The gory visuals are involved because the doors are left open, and she walks away going, "But it's fine because I was a guiltless copy."
Oh, okay.
And that's the end. Just what you want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you go to bed.
Exactly. I kind of think it's interesting still to think about those things, but I mean, I guess As a Dream didn't want to go that far. We will, but I mean, I don't think they have an answer to that. But I assume if you fuse two monster, yeah, that's a new monster. That's not even in code. I don't think it keeps the monster. It just creates another one.
I think that is probably the case for all meaningful purposes, since I know, like, for things that involve recalculating stats, they are recalculated.
I just read in chat, As a Dream 2 metaphysical compared to the Xeno series.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's a statement to make.
And curry.
Most importantly, curry. Yeah, exactly. The bonding.
The real community is the PouletsansTete we hatched along the way.
Exactly. But okay. Other question. Other metaphysical. No, not metaphysical, but just physical question. What do you think a PouletsansTete tastes like?
That's tricky.
Like this one, is it like cherry flavored, or it seems a little pale for that, like raspberry?
I think it'd have to be meat. I'm going to say that probably tasty.
Tasty?
They're not very fast.
Uh-huh.
They don't seem to have. Well, they probably have some solid enough muscle. They're squishy, so they've probably got some fat. They're not predators as far as we know.
No, definitely not.
And so I think they're tasty. Those are all that make an animal tasty.
Huh. Don't you think they're more like Jello or something?
Maybe. That's possible.
Like they feel like flan or something. And let's go, PouletSansTete, saving the PouletsansTete from the grip of death. Using it as some kind of a meat shield or a Jello shield, I don't know. But, yeah, doing a pretty great job using the now paralyzed Viper to block off the way of the other monster. That was a tight spot to be in.
I feel like the question of what a PouletsansTete to check the monster book about, now that I think about it. Also, I'm just going to say, think about the meat on that tail there. That is a thick little tail.
That's a thick boy. I agree.
That's a thick tail. That's thicker than Ko's arm. That is some good meat there. That is just like a solid cut of meat and or gelatin, depending on what we think of PouletsansTete.
We're trying to find if our friend stayed our friend through, fusion or demolecularization or whatever how you pronounce that. And now we're talking about cutting down its tail to eat it.
Right.
We have no loyalty whatsoever.
Well, there are things we have to think about to resort to survival cannibalism in the monster tower. start retaining water pretty well. I think they'd probably be all right.
I assume so. I mean, you do get Palumpa Egg, and they're worth 50 MP if something else eats it, so I guess they're tasty in some kind of a way, at least in egg form.
Right. yes, come with for 10 text boxes if they served it at Patty's. Also, interesting seeing how that interacted. The coin got paralyzed. It turned into a Manueva, but was still paralyzed.
Uh-huh.
That was funny. That was a fun little interaction.
Have you ever seen a coin get thrown a Holy Scroll to it, and then the Manueva becomes super big?
I have, I believe. I forget if I've seen that. I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah, for some reason it untransformed the Manueva, and it obviously take a minute or two. It's like kind of feel like it's soft lock, but it's not. And then it becomes super big for no reason. It keeps following you around. That's crazy.
Right. On a serious note, yeah, Reven is pulling a little bit ahead, and I think also, so it is very impressive that they have carried the Palumpa this far.
That's the whole point.
This is the true glory of Palumpa percent.
Yeah, it's very rare that these races go much more than 15. So being on 25 and 29 is just madness. It just goes to prove how good these guys are. It's crazy. The Palumpa still got MP, so they got lucky on that front. But I mean, yeah.
But they have been keeping it fed. They have been keeping it fed. They have been keeping it alive. They have been good Palumpa owners. Oh no!
Shield
goes down.
Yep, you don't do that. Again, thwarted by the elemental shield. I think these
just as Reven hits 31.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a sad match, but I mean, Palumpa percent, Reven bringing it all the way to floor 31.
That's the dream, folks. Let's see if we can see if Reven try and, or if this journey has reached its natural conclusion.
Yeah, I think it would be the first time Palumpa percent is actually finished, so I think we should let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that you kind of can brag about if you can achieve it forever and ever. The first person to actually clear Palumpa percent on a tournament match would be actually kind of crazy. I think it would be the first time it's been done ever.
Right, if you can put Palumpa percent, you can do anything.
You can do anything. All right, floor 32. 32, let's go. Killer is in the way.
Killer is in the way. What do we have here?
All right.
That's a pretty good use.
Yeah, yeah, let's go. Yet another one. Man, the Killer hit hard.
They do.
I mean, I get that the dragon could have won this battle if it didn't breathe there, but I mean, still pretty darn close for a monster that's not.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay. This is something of a lucky layout. This is also something of an unlucky layout. Let's see. Hell is, I think, a pretty good strat here.
For sure. He might be okay. Not even. He could have been hit by the glacier still, but he decided to move instead, which is definitely good. He saw the elevator on the teleport, and
hit by the glacier because he had sort of taken both of those moves before the glacier moved.
Didn't he see the elevator on the spin? Maybe that was just going too fast, but it should be from this point of view right now. It should be on the top left corner. He's gonna get there eventually. Oh man, there might not be a connection there. That's kind of sad. Yep, here, and on left, and he should be fine. Please go on the left.
Has he? There we go. Up we go. I might have looked at the loop. See what we've got there.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't see the elevator on this one, so you want to go and more on the right side. That's one of the strategies some runners will get accustomed to by playing the game a lot. You do see the floor loadout on a C arc going from the top left and up to your position. So you should always see if there's a room on the top left corner. You're gonna see that, and then you can see some of the leftmost or topmost rooms. So if you don't see anything on that animation, you should go right off the bat, because you know that it shouldn't be on the left side. It still could be, and you just would not have seen it. But better safe than sorry.
Right.
All right, back going on. Blinding the maximum. All right, that dragon.
Yeah, you always gotta check a loop. At this point.
Actually, the dragon won by the skin of his, but it's not gonna have a lot of HP for this encounter. And
Right.
Yep, especially against the glacier, you want to blind them so they do not have the chance to shoot their glacier ability. They're not gonna do it if they're blind, even if you're in straight line with them. So that's always a good thing. Yeah, 14 damage is a kill. You can see that the dragon was won by just a little bit.
So the question is, how to get past this golem?
Yeah, more importantly, Reven will need to unequip this ice shield. I don't know why they're still having elemental shield going on, but yeah, the binding ball was more than enough. Just don't get hit by a golem.
And that I think was about out of charges for, which is less than ideal. Still,
Alright.
there's the elevator. Ooh, there's a barong. That could be nice.
Absolutely. Going on strong to floor 36, I think? 35? 37. Damn it, it's going fast. Wow. Alright, these last few floors were actually pretty darn fast, and more importantly, they're still on a crazy pace. 39 minutes is no joke. Luckily, that maximum's got no spells, so as long as he's moving forward, there should not be a danger even for Palumpa. But he decides he doesn't want to deal with this, and that's a good idea. If
that's a fair thought.
Yeah.
Particularly because he can get out of its following range pretty quickly. So now we are getting close to the finish line.
No. Final binding ball.
Final binding ball.
That's scary because
That'll do the trick.
the only resources he's got is blinder, and blinder is only going to be useful from a range if he starts in melee with an enemy. Okay, that's fine.
But it doesn't matter. Palumpa%,
Palumpa or bust. Let's freaking go.
That is what you want to see. Oh, there, Poulet. Reven is finishing up Palumpa%.
Wow, that's
The worst
an achievement.
is to the top. I see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to talk about these first two races. Absolutely irrelevant. The only thing we care about is you both went for the Palumpa or bust %, and actually Reven cleared it. I think we should give it a win.
It wasn't even a choice, you know? It wasn't even a choice. You have Palumpa or you are...
victory.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely crazy matches. I mean, you guys will absolutely have to go and rewatch those. Both the first match and the second match, there was not a floor indifference, or maybe a floor indifference, almost all the time. It was absolute madness, crazy paces. First of all, Poulet, how do you feel?
Well, pretty happy because we had this sort of very friendly rivalry going on with Reven the last few days on the server, and there you go.
Absolutely. Reven, how do you feel about, the whole set of matches, but obviously clearing Palumpa % in front of everyone?
Yeah, Palumpa person, man. Oof.
I mean, you gotta feel good about Palumpa%, right? I wasn't really sure. I was hoping that Poulet was gonna do it as well. As soon as I saw that Univern, I kind of figured he would. And kind of like my Garuda run originally, I was just waiting for it to painfully die, and it almost did several times. Luckily, I was close enough to bag him in and recover, or I think it was a lucky pickup on like 18 or 19 when I was surrounded by spiders. That was pretty scary. I was ready to die before my Palumpa did.
Absolutely, very important. Yeah, so talk to me, both of you, about those first two matches. Obviously, so the pace were crazy. Like, we're talking about a floor a minute on both matches for both of you, or very close to. You kind of had to feel you were ahead. That's a mad pace, right?
No, so for battles like these ones, I always assume I'm behind because whatever I find, my opponent will find as well. And if I do minor mistakes, then maybe they don't do the same minor mistakes. So I'll always assume I'm behind, and I'll try to go faster.
Reven?
Personally, I was kind of I thought I was behind most of the time, just because I've done a few practice matches with Poulet over the past couple weeks, and he is incredibly fast. I know, generally speaking, I wouldn't be able to beat him unless he died before getting to 40. So I knew I'd have to speed up a little bit, and I've been working on that over the past couple days. But when I saw I was on 30 at like 30 minutes both runs, I'm like, wow, I don't know if I'm ahead or not, and it's kind of crazy that I'm even this high up this fast, because my last practice runs, I'm not getting to floor 40 or 30 until I'm like 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was way faster during these matches, but at the same time, I knew Poulet could have been on 39 by then, as far as I was concerned.
Like, seriously, this is the craziest set of match I've seen in a while. You definitely want to go and check it again. Me and Deme were trying to follow everything that was happening, and that was hard because so many.
You were just bolting through. There was so much. Poulet actually reached that one-room floor in the second. Reven actually reached that first. It was just a matter of surviving that one-room floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we say first, we're talking like 5 seconds prior.
Okay, yeah.
So we were closer than I thought we were then.
Oh, it was
very close.
Yeah, you got on the one room floor 5 seconds earlier, and we were watching both of you. When you guys got sniped by a glacier, you actually got sniped by a glacier at the same time. We saw the glacier animation on both sides going on exactly the same time. We're like,
okay, I need to watch this.
yeah, exactly. And then actually, sadly, Reven dies to the situation, and Poulet actually survives. I have a question to ask both of you. You both made I'm gonna say forget. I'm gonna say forget because it has to be that you guys have both forgotten to remove or change elemental shield, and it's come down hard on you, biting you in the behind.
Yes.
Yeah, I took like 68 damage from a glacier block.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
I think it was 61 or something from just the glacier, like not the melee attack, right? Just the ice cube.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit scary.
Yeah, that was just a case of I had forgotten to switch the shield because I was trying to deal with the golem before it woke up because I figured it was a bit more scary. And lo and behold, the glacier was much more scary. And yeah, I managed to squeak my way by that after I kind of lured it around for a while and I had it kick me away with the earth shield on. And
But
I ended up having to burn through another one with pillar balls real quick. That was really close.
At this moment, what element was your dragon or kid?
Mine was fire the whole way up.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I had picked up wands in an attempt to maybe switch over, but I never got around to it. I was going way too fast to care.
So I was wondering if you would have the same technique. So I borrowed Chai's technique of being wind, so I could 1v1 glaciers with my kid, and then I would just blast through the golems with fireballs. So I was
that would have been a good idea, yeah. I don't remember if I had a wind seed at that point. I know I was carrying one around for a while, and I ended up chucking it at something to get by quick.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a crazy set of race. We could talk about those all day long, but I mean, I'm so just impressed, and you guys really need to watch it again. We've been treated so nice for having you both guys, run for us today, and the tournament continues on. You were both in the winner bracket, so we're gonna get to see you again. But PouletSansTete is going to be versing next week the winner of Wuga Septic Tank, which is coming in close. I don't remember when, but it's during this weekend, obviously. And Reven is going to go down to fighting...
we don't really know yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Several next matches.
Yes, exactly. There's going to be a few matches going forward. But yeah, that was so much fun to see you guys run. Thank you very much, Poulet and Reven, for being here today.
Well, thank you for casting.
This was a great time.
I assume I got Senai to be mad a few times, so I'm gonna watch this and appreciate the moments.
I did what?
I assume you got mad at me a few times for some decisions.
Oh,
so...
for sure. But I got mad at Reven as well, so don't worry.
Okay. Fair enough then.
It's an even-handed exasperation.
We talked about the metaphysicality of, Palumpa and how do they cease to exist when they get fused, but you're gonna get to get around that as well. Thank you very much, Jamie, for joining me in here today. It was nice to have your lovely voice during these matches and your energy. It needed that.
Thank you very much. It was great being here. Thank you, of course, to the folks at SpeedGaming and all the lovely people in the chat.
Thank you very much, everyone, and I wish you a great day, but we're going to get another match in 5 hours or so, so please stay tuned for that and join our Discord if you want to see more or when it's going to happen. And if you're already in there, we're going to poke you guys to tell you when the match is coming up. But yeah, 5 hours or so, we're going to get another one. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
See you, everybody.
Bye.